Truth Within. I'm your host, Chazmith. And as always, my mission for this podcast is to inspire you to take your power back and realize that you are the healer that you have been looking for all along. I truly believe that we are all capable of healing in mind, in body, and in soul. OMG. How long has it been? Over a year. Can you believe it? It's 2025, April 2025, and time flies. I remember being a kid and our parents would always say, "Oh, wait till you're older, time moves so fast." And as a child, you just can't comprehend what they're even talking about. And now with every passing year, it feels like they're becoming a blur. And that just goes to show how sacred time really is then, right? Especially when it's moving fast. So, I've missed you. I've missed everyone. I've missed being connected. I know there's been several of you who continue to reach out to me and share wins and stay connected, which has been beautiful. Thank you so much. I always love that. It literally just brings so much joy to my heart. I appreciate you. But I hope you're all doing good. I hope you're doing better than the last time I released an episode, because that's the goal, right? It's been over a year. I really hope you're better every single day. I've been meaning to post for months, literally. I have been meaning to post this episode, this welcome back episode, and talk to you all about why I went on a hiatus to begin with. So here I finally am. Better late than never. Yeah, so let's see. I want to say that it was getting into Q4 of 2023 that I started having a lot of insights through meditation show up around the podcast, questioning whether or not it was productive for me to continue recording episodes and posting them. I already had a few interviews in the books, so I kept those lined up with the intent to really feel into it and go from there and decide what would come next. And the truth of the matter was that it became rock solid clear to me that I absolutely had to take an extended break. Hear me when I say that my decision and drive to take this extended break was not just for me. It was for all of you too. And here's why. I am a huge believer that if I am impacted in some way by something, then there's probably a good chance that there's someone else in the world or multiple someone else's who feel the same way. Just like if I have a follow-up question when I'm interviewing someone, there's a good chance that someone listening has that same question. Do you know what I'm saying? And so I had to sit with everything I was feeling and come to the conclusion that if I was feeling the way I did, someone else felt the same way. And this is how I felt. When I originally started this podcast, there was an intent to be a resource for inspirational stories that gave us hope that healing was for everyone. It was also designed to provide resources on programs and tools to aid us in our healing journey. But towards the end, I just started feeling like there was a heavy amount of information overload. I don't know about you, but when I first started my healing journey back in 2019 with DNRS, I feel like there was very little access to information in the chronic illness and self-healing world. And since then, there has been a massive explosion. Literally, there is information in every direction we look or tune into. Same information, conflicting information, just a vast array of information and perspectives and viewpoints and content. And while some degree of information is helpful, especially at first, knowledge is power. We want to understand initially the science because that can help validate why we're doing what we're doing to our brain. But like most things in life, there does become a point of diminishing returns. Too much information is real, It is a thing. It is more of a thing now than ever before. I think we are living in a society of massive information overload and content overload. And sometimes it feels like everything and everyone is competing for our attention and our brain and mental space, that we don't know which direction to go, where to look, what to take in, what's right for us. It's just becoming very convoluted. So I'm beginning to feel, well, not now, but I have been feeling that less is truly more. Like I said, there is a certain amount of information and science we need to understand up front. But once we reach that initial, access to the right amount of information, then what we need to do is just go embody it, experiment with it, try it on, live it, breathe it, sleep it. Does that make sense? Like, information is great, knowledge is awesome, but like knowledge without embodiment, without practice, without actually living it is almost meaningless. So I just started feeling like there was this epidemic of information overload. I was feeling it myself. And when I got very real and honest with myself, I had to admit that I was a part of the problem, right? Because here I was releasing this weekly podcast with more information. So I had great intentions, as all of us do, but it just wasn't feeling properly aligned at the time. And here's the other thing. I also started being really observant of my own actions and my reactions and my feelings, my emotions, and my triggers. So I started noticing that because I wasn't as quote unquote healed as I wanted to be, that with every single interview towards the end there, I would record, I would notice that I would be comparing my journey with this or that person's journey. I would be internally dialoguing with myself. Oh, well, how come this person already healed X, Y, and Z, but I haven't? What's wrong with me? What am I missing? I must be doing something wrong or not good enough. Ooh, that not good enough part, right? I started noticing that I was ping-ponging all over the place with my interests in every direction, trying to figure out what I was missing. So-and-so did this program and they had so much success. Maybe I need to try that again. But this person did this thing and I haven't tried that thing yet, so maybe that's what I'm missing. Or, oh, that coach seemed to really help so-and-so. I need this coach, but oh man, I can't afford this coach. Now how am I going to heal without this coach or this program or this thing? Do you hear that undertone? That is so much stress, so much pressure, so impossible to heal when I am stuck in this chronic state of not enough, seeking, need to try this, need to try that, can't afford this, now what am I going to do? You know what I'm saying? I know that someone out there listening has also felt this, if even they weren't aware of it until this very moment, right? So I'm noticing all this in my head. I'm noticing that I'm not good enough part. I'm not doing healing good enough. Have you been there? I'm not doing healing good enough. I have to do healing better. I'm comparing myself to other people's journeys rather than just being inspired by their journey and remembering that my journey is my own. And when I let that really sink in, oh man, I felt for certain that I was being pulled into this spiral. If I was, then somebody else was too. And I just didn't feel okay with that. So I started thinking to myself, if I started this podcast as a way to provide inspiration and insight for healing, and yet fast forward 3+ years, here I am, not even fully healed or where I want to be yet, but I have access weekly to all this wonderful information. Don't get me wrong. I am not saying that every interview I did, every person I connected with didn't provide value or awesome content or really powerful inspiration. Like, that is all a given. But if through all that, I still am where I am, what does that mean? So, something I really see as a theme in our self-healing community is this internal need for information. Like, we are all information gatherers. It's almost as if, like, I can't get enough. Like, I'm going to read this book, and then I'm going to read that book, and then I'm going to read this book, and then I'm going to do this program, and then I'm going to do that program, and then I'm going to do this program. It's like we all just want to understand it so much, and we think that if we can learn more and understand more and be wiser and smarter and more educated, we'll be more able to heal. But this is a trap, because the truth is that healing is in the doing of the living, of the embodying, not the gathering of information. Sure, the gathering of each other and connection. So we have to be able to try things on for a reasonable and fair amount of time to determine if it is helping or hindering us. And so this was where I reached a point in my soul where I knew what I needed was less, not more information, less education and more practice, more being, more living, more joy, more observation of myself and how I interact with life and everything around me, noticing my triggers and why that triggered me and what really is the underlying thing that's upsetting me in this moment. More following my own internal compass. I realized that although I had once felt so tapped into my own internal guidance, at one point in my healing journey, I lost it. I lost it when I started over-consuming. When I was experiencing so much input in every direction all around me. Because if we are always consuming information and content and the opinions of other people and other people's ideas of truth, then how do we ever, one, hear our own internal voice and guide, or two, discern what is true and real for us? Right? So this was another realization I had. I feel that in my effort to seek some of this information, I was masking a bigger internal need for connection. And I cannot help but wonder if this resonates for anyone out there right now listening. Do you ever feel like maybe you cling to hearing that next story, that next interview, so that you just feel like in that moment you're connected? Can you relate? But wouldn't taking that hour and having a real life, genuine connection with somebody be so much more valuable than just taking in that content? So what did I do? I put a pause. I put a pause on the podcast for me and you. I just couldn't be a part of the problem. I simply didn't feel it was aligned for me to provide any product, service, or content that didn't truly solve the bigger problem at play. And I took a pause so that I could take time for clarity. Time to focus on my own healing, to actually practice, play, explore, experiment, embody, and try things on that I already knew, right? Because after 3 years of doing all this research, I had so much information and so many tools that I could play with and practice and try out. Am I where I want to be yet? No. But am I so grateful and happy for where I am? Absolutely. And I am loving the journey I am on. I'm grateful for the time I've had to focus and the level of awareness that this entire experience has brought me. So, let's see. For those of you that have been tuned into the podcast for quite some time, you've heard of human design being discussed on here more than once. And if not, no worries. Stick with me for a moment. It'll make sense. If you don't know what it is, I encourage you, when it feels right, not just because I said it, but when it feels like a calling, like you just feel called into it, look it up. But again, remember, information overload. So anyways, I'm digressing. In my human design, this is very just much like another explanation. In my human design, I'm a pure generator, which means I'm literally here to live in and build in joy. Like build my life whilst in joy, live in joy. I am here to be satisfied every single day. I am here to say yes to things that light me up and bring me a great deal of joy and satisfaction every day. So that's what I've been doing. I stepped back from all healing programs, all protocol, and I just focused on bringing more joy into my life, living from a state of satisfaction with a great deal of awareness, noticing when I'm still saying yes despite not feeling satisfied, or joyful, noticing what exhausts me versus what fills me up, noticing when I'm living in a state of joy that I have a state of flow and that the universe naturally brings me more joy to say yes to. And it's all tricky because I'm still seeing where I want to say yes out of obligation, or noticing when I think I should do something versus truly what I want to do. And one of the biggest epiphanies I've had lately is realizing through observation where I'm resisting in my life rather than remembering always that I have everything I need. That I can set goals to make changes while also being in a state of gratitude for exactly where I am, especially considering how far I've come. And I'm still learning how to befriend my lingering symptoms rather than resist them. So there's so much opportunity in this journey. Anyhow, that was just a little tidbit, side note, update on where I am and kind of what is my driving force in the past year of how I've committed to my healing through just trying to live more joy and more satisfaction, which I believe in turn helps me live more aligned, authentic life, which helps me heal. So, through this last year, I, especially these past several months, have been feeling incredibly inspired to create. And I want to create through the podcast again, but in some new ways. I want to show up and provide content that feels valuable, while also being mindful of information overload and even more mindful of your time. So I decided that for now, I'm going to experiment with and explore what it looks and feels like to play with the idea of creating and providing mini series where I will dive into topics that feel exciting and fun and satisfying to me, but also feel like they will be supportive for you. I plan to keep them short so that you can spend less time tuned into the podcast and more time out embodying and living your beautiful life. And speaking of all this joy, I am thrilled to do a deep dive series into joy. It is going to be called Living in Joy, where I will have a variety of guests come on and we will talk about how to live our joy despite a presence of symptoms or chronic illness. My goal in all of these series is to make sure every episode provides value for you, but I don't want to waste my time or yours. I don't want to create more content that overwhelms you or takes your attention away from living. I don't want to create content that in any way might cause you to fall into the comparison trap or the I'm not doing healing good enough trap, because you are. You already are. If you have any topics that you want me to deep dive in that you feel would support you on this journey, or any creative ideas, send them my way and I will explore those topics. In the meantime, if you haven't done so already, make sure you click subscribe or follow me on your platform of choice so that you don't miss the next episode, because I am not committing to any specific schedule. I'm not committing to an episode a week or every other week or any specific agenda. I just am following my inspiration and my creative flow, and I will be releasing series as I feel called to do so. And I don't want you to miss them if they seem like something you would enjoy. And God, I don't think I've ever talked this long and ranted and rambled and raved before for 20 minutes. Holy smokes, if you're still here, I applaud you. It's 20 minutes you've listened to my voice. I want to ask you this. If you take nothing else away from this whole rant, take away this. Your time is precious. You can never get time back. How are you using your time? What are you using your time to consume? What are you using your time to take in? Where are you giving your time away? What does your time mean to you? What is one positive way today that you can shift how you use your time every day to yield a big result? I love you all. I have missed you. I hope you are all wonderfully well. I would love to hear from you if anyone feels compelled to shoot me a DM, leave me a voice memo on my website, send me an email, give me a call, WhatsApp me, tell me how you are, tell me what you're feeling. Answer these questions for me if you want to share the answers with somebody. Send me your topics for series. I have a bunch of ideas flowing right now. I'll be releasing this Joy series relatively soon, but I will say that prior to the Joy series, probably in the next week or so, I'm going to be releasing a really valuable episode. I am so excited about this episode, you guys. It is going to be all about visualizations, because there are a million people out there who swear up and down that they can't visualize, and I call hogwash. And I'll tell you why in the episode. But I got great insights and ideas and examples, and I'm going to share my theories with you, why we're all capable of being excellent visualizers. And I think it will be really powerful. It's been really heavy on my heart, so I can't wait to share that. And yeah, I'm stoked. I'm stoked to be back. It feels really good. And oh, I also have some other new exciting news. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I've almost forgot this. If you're still here, once again, props for being here. I am so excited because if you've been following me for years, you will know that I used to do this awesome movement class called Dose of Movement that I offered to the community once a week. And you've probably heard me say it a million times. I am obsessed with the idea of fitness and exercise and movement practices. It's one of my biggest passions. And I am beyond ready to start bringing this passion back into my life to share with others and create a practice where I can move with people and support them on their journey of developing safety around exercise and movement and building their movement toolbox. And so I am actually partnering with some wonderful guys that you might know in this community, Josh and Joe, otherwise known as the Healing Dudes. They have this wonderful monthly program called the Mind Body Boot Camp, aka the Healing Club, the Heal Club. They're wonderful. I love what they're doing. They keep healing simple. It's very community focused, very hands-on, very supportive. You get live weekly calls. You get access to them 24/7 in chat groups. It's pretty powerful. I love their stuff. And one of their pillars and one of their important aspects of healing has always been incorporating movement into your life. So we are partnering, and I'm going to be partnering with them to offer movement classes as a part of the boot camp program. So that's really exciting. If you want to start, if you don't know where to go next and you want to start there, it's kind of a lot of bang for your buck, right? You get access to them and ongoing daily accountability and support, weekly calls and check-ins, plus movement classes every week. So there will be a link in the show notes for you to check that out and sign up today. Woohoo! I can't wait. I'm so excited. I love sharing movement with people. So this is really going to bring me a great deal of joy. I love you all. Thanks again for being here. Remember to click subscribe so that you do not miss that next episode on visualizations and the upcoming series, Living in Joy. Until next time, make your life great.